Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about creativity and innovation. Myself Professor Devi Chandrika from Department of Business Administration. Let us discuss creativity. What do you mean by creativity? It is the ability to transcend traditional ideas, patterns, rules, relationships, or the like, and they create meaningful new ideas, forms, methods, interpretations, etc. Originality, progressiveness, or imagination. So, anything which is already existing, it will be transformed into a new idea or new process is called creativity. Now we are going to discuss about process of creativity. The stages for process of creativity are preparation, incubation, insight, evaluation, elaboration. Let us see one by one. Preparation. The first stage in the idea of preparation, the idea that you are immersing yourself in the domain, how it came, why it should not be like that, that thought process, that idea, why it could not be like this. If it is like this, it would have been fine. This stage is normally best carried out in a quiet environment. It's really the stage that you are trying to observe as much information as possible because this information will go into your subconsciousness where it is very important for the second stage or second level. Next stage, that is the second stage of process of creativity, is incubation. The second stage is what we call the incubation stage. In incubation, this is when all the information that you have gathered in the preparation stage really goes back. It starts to churn in the back of your mind, in the subconsciousness. This is an extremely important stage because sometimes it can take days, weeks, months, or sometimes even years. That idea that you will think about writing about a book or piece of music, rewriting about it, or you just leave it to the side for a while and then you come back to it. Now, the interesting thing about the incubation stage is that to a certain extent, it is not really under your control. How long that stage will take, you will not have any idea. It is something you cannot really rush because what it leads to it is the third stage. Now we are going to discuss the third stage of the process of creativity, that is insight stage. The third stage is what most of the public think is a classic signal or sign of a creative person. What is called the insight stage or the insight step. But the insight, it is really the idea of the aha moment, the eureka moment. Although it is probably the smallest part of the five states, it is possible only of the most important parts. A quick thing I would say here is that they most often happen when you are doing some kind of low level physical activity. Going for a shower, driving a car, having a walk, This is because your subconsciousness in the previous stage is bubbling away, and this insight stage really allows the mind to work on something else and then bring these ideas to the forefront of your mind, so that the third stage, the insights stage. The fourth stage is evaluation stage. It is very important because this is the time where it requires self criticism and reflection. It is asking yourself the questions like, is this a novel or new idea, or is it one that is just rehashed and has been done before? It's the idea of going out to a small group or trusted friends or saying, I have had this idea, what do you think about this? It is very important part because we only have a limited amount of time to do certain things. Often you find that people who are called the most creative people are often very good at this stage, the evaluation stage. The last stage of the process of creativity is elaboration stage. It is really a creative individual isn't complete, and I don't think they can do anything that really lasts unless they can go through that and actually put in the hard work. The elaboration, testing the idea, working on the idea, those late nights in the studio, working at your desk, those hours in the laboratory if you are a scientist, those days testing and micro testing process. This is the elaboration stage. So each creativity process, these five process of or these five stages of creativity. Next, we are going to discuss about characteristics of creativity. New ideas, innovation. Creativity creates new ideas. Yes. Initiates or initiative, strategies, policies, problem solving, and new ideas for managers and employers taken into consideration. Next one is positive attitude. A positive attitude is very essential for thinking creatively because it is this positivity that motivates the mind to look for details, wonder, and actually find solutions. My previous point about this intense curiosity is strongly linked. A person who negatively shuts off potential possibilities and does not look at the world around them with such wonderful surprise. Fearlessness. This is an interesting character because highly creative people tend to believe in the value of the idea they come up with. Remember, they are also flexible, so they want to change. However, they do not seem to be worried about whether that idea is right or wrong because they believe their ideal value, the value of the field in which it lives, even if it can later become debunked. Preconscious system. Preconscious system are an important feature of creativity. Before starting one's own work or doing work by others, consciousness is essential. Otherwise, the work cannot be successful. New result orientation. Always, when we have a creativity, It may be right or wrong, but always it will be oriented to find a new result. Universal. It is a universal and general ability to be used for any purpose because it is the creativity spirit used in all areas of life, such as creative drawing, creative writing, and creative ideas. In this regard, one thinker wrote that creativity is the activity of doing strange things in general. Environment approval. Creativity is closely related to the social environment of individual. Also, it is closely related to personality. It has three main components, namely knowledge, intellectual ability, and tendency. What happens, the person who are creativity, they will be having a knowledge, but they will not have that intellectual ability. Even if knowledge and intellectual ability is there, they may not have a tendency to create something new. So these three things plays very important role in creativity. Human power. Creativity is a human capacity which creates new and unique ideas and imagination that it can be used in entrepreneurship and other areas of life. Strong motivation and determination. This is where the hard work of creativity comes in. So we can all think creatively, but what uses creativity if it doesn't really show itself in the world of creation? The main problem that need to be pursued for creativity by creating software solutions, creating social capital through community building, or painting artwork that only comes from strong motivation and perseverance. In addition, creative ideas will only remain in the minds of individual without the opportunity to influence society and or the community. Flexibility. This is a key characteristic because it involves a mindset that suggests that there may be a single answer or solution to a particular problem. Flexible thinkers are not hemmed in by being overly focused on one way of working and tend to be open to innovation. They also have ability to work part-time and then switch to alternative solutions methods. Study think. Creativity focuses more on studying, thinking, and knowing because the entrepreneur feels that deep thinking and intelligence are essential before starting work. New idea combination. Creativity is a combination of new ideas that affect the feeling of the workers and managers working in the organization, as it would be unrealistic if the new ideas were not incorporated into the business. It can be natural or acquired. Creativity can be natural or an acquired one, as entrepreneurial ideas are most new and unique. But for some individuals, the ideas are not their own but are desired by knowledge and experience. Creating a new method. In entrepreneurship, creativity is worked by new method rather than conventional approaches. As a result, the latest and scientific methods, techniques and principles can be used. a sense of intense curiosity. Creative thinkers are fascinated with the world around them. They ask a lot of questions and tend to develop a very intense focus that often surprises them as they try to elaborate on how things work or the beautiful structure or whatever else they set their mind to. Motivating the heart. The development of creativity is associated with self esteem, not by any technique or demonstrative power. Brain activity. Creativity is brain activity and not an idea or a strategy. Characteristics of creativity are not equal. Creativity are not equal to all, yet characteristics of creativity can be improved through initiative. Next, we are going to discuss about factors affecting creativity. So, there are 5 factors which affects the creativity. It is experience, fearlessness, desire, atmosphere, space and time. Let us discuss one by one. Experience. Experience is the key point in creative thinking. The more experience you, the more influenced you get. These experiences define your ideas and creativity which are presented through your work. Fearlessness. A person who thinks he is not creative, he will not be and never be worried about the success of an idea. Clearly shows that you lack in your ideology, there will be more doors open. Next is desire. Desire to change will lead to creativity. If that creativity is not there, then you cannot be creative. Next, atmosphere and environment. Environmental factors affecting creativity and innovation, although it can emerge in various situations. Some environment are conducive for creative process. It has a strong relationship. Space and time. Creativity need undisturbed space and time. Start and end time. To keep your creative space open is essential. Without a dedicated time block, it may get distracted from your creative mode and it may take time to complete your creativity. So, the above are the 5 factors that affect creativity intensively. Innovation. What do you mean by innovation? Innovation is the practical implementation of ideas that results in the introduction of new goods or services or improvement in offering goods and services, which may result in new ideas. Process. Process of innovation is of 5 stages. First stage is idea generation and mobilization. Second stage, advocacy and screening. Third stage, experimentation. Fourth stage, commercialization. Last and final stage, diffusion and implementation. Let us discuss the process one by one. Idea generation and mobilization. Successful idea generation should involve the pressure to compete and the freedom to explore. Mobilization occurs when the ideas is moved to a different logical or physical location. For instance, Apple waited for 3 years after MP3 players, which was introduced to create the iPod, which was attractive, intuitive, and offered capacity for up to 1000 songs. Second process is advocacy and screening. Evaluate the feasibility of a business idea with its potential problems and benefits. Hence, a decision can be made about an idea, a future. Companies looking to develop a culture can establish a new best practices. For example, employees should have plenty of avenues to receive advocacy and feedback. Also, organizations must understand the difficulties involved in evaluating truly innovative ideas. Also, organizations need to build transparent evaluation and screening protocols. Experimentation. The experimentation stage tests the sustainability of ideas for an organization at a specific time. Experimentation generates new ideas with the information that is generated on the result and feasibility of the original ideas. For example, when Amazon tested its grocery delivery service in certain Seattle suburbs, after this, Amazon Fresh expanded to Los Angeles, San Diego, and New York City. Commercialization. Commercialization develops market value for an idea by focusing on its impact. An important part is establishing the specification on any given idea. Commercialization is the stage that involves the change of focus developments to persuasion after the idea is clarified and a business plan is developed to be ready for diffusion and implementation. Diffusion and implementation. Diffusion is the company-wide acceptance of an innovative idea, and implementation sets up everything needed to develop the innovation. Diffusion and implementation allow the organization to determine the next set of needs for customers, receiving feedback, indicators for success, metrics, and other benchmarks enable the organization to stimulate the innovation process. Hurdles for innovation. Even though we say creativity and innovation, there are trends which is changing. Even when there is much value to achieve and a lot of pain to relieve, the path of innovation is not always taken due to obstacles. Although trends can change or increase the urge of innovation, many barriers can be on the way. These barriers can be culture, technology maturity, implementation effort, regulations and procedures, etc. When the perceived obstacles are too high, it can hinder to start the innovation journey. There are certain hurdles and obstacles which we have seen. First one is culture of an organization. It determines the easiness of how it can adopt an innovation. To innovate, an organization has to go through a change management process. It depends on the experience and the willingness of people to change. Is change within the organization daily business, or are people very conservative? The directory board can have beautiful plans in mind, but as Peter Drucker said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Second obstacle is the maturity of innovation. The maturity of innovation is very important to have trust in the innovation. Gardner defines the hype cycle with 5 phases: technology trigger, peak of inflated expectations, trough of disillusionment, slope of enlightenment, plateau of productivity. How confident do you feel at a certain technology? Are you an innovator, early adopter, laggard, or something in between? You have to decide. Third stage of third obstacles of innovation is innovation project. Many innovations are not just unboxing exercises but require an innovation project. In case of the digital transformation, you need software, hardware, human resource, and activities. The project leader has to control the time, money, and quality of the project. Activities and milestones need to be planned and prepared. The last main obstacle is regulation and procedures. The regulation and procedure can hinder innovation. Many new ideas are terminated because an organization is too red taped. Bureaucracy can kill many initiatives. Also, legislations and regulations can be very laborious and discourage opportunistic people to go further with innovation. This is not an extensive list of all the obstacles, although it describes the main obstacles. Many other different impediments can stop innovation. Therefore, there should be assessment of the obstacles to tackle or to mitigate them upfront. These are the certain these are the certain products which uh, have been introduced in the market due to the innovative idea. It is Sifox Health introduces world first lab quality home blood testing platform. So this is it is a blood test instrument which we can do it at home itself. Still, I think it has not introduced in India, maybe for not commonly for all the people. But this is an instrument which is used to test the blood in home. This is a coffee maker. If you put ingredients and if you are lying down setting an alarm, so at the time you wake up, uh, in that time the coffee will be ready. It is slow cooker. You put ingredients, set all the basic cooking, and you fix the time. Once you come back from work, the food will be ready. This is a micro spoon, magnifying spoon. It is useful to find it out any bugs or worms if there is any bugs or worms in your food. Next one is change it wall. So whenever you feel bored of the wall color or wall design, you can change your wall color as you wish. The next one is Electrolux biopolymer or robot refrigerator. So if you see this refrigerator, it is space consuming actually. And whenever you want to keep your fruits or vegetables, whatever it is, it just like that it will absorb it. You can see directly you are no feeding, directly you are storing the fruits. It is just it is observing like a skin, it is observing like a fish, you know, a starfish, how it observes like that, it is observing the vegetables. Yes. So innovation is very, very important, and it happens knowingly or unknowingly to everyone. It has become the mandate of our life. Either it is not very mandatorily it should be in product, but in process, ideas, anything is unique, then you will be a successful entrepreneur if you are having an creativity and innovation idea. Yes, uniqueness stands. It attracts customers. It attracts investors. It attracts competitors. So be creative and innovative. Thank you.